लाल की जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति। कृपालु गुरवे नमः। कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाट पटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुः करे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूडामणि। नमः कमलना भाय नमः कमलमा नमः कमल पादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वं हा देवमात्म बुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees of God, now let's chant Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala. Let's meditate on Sri Radha and Krishna as we chant their glorious names. Everyone please chant and also clap so that the chanting may become more interesting. Can I request someone to ask them to stop the noise in the kitchen? Thank you. Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo Giridhar Govind Gopala Bhajo Giridhar Giridhar Govind भजो गिरिधर गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो भजो मोर मुकुट मुरली वाला भजो मुरली मनोहर नंद लाला भजो मोर मुकुट मुरली वाला भजो गिरिधर गिरिधर गोविंद भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला भजो गिरिधर गोविंद गोपाला जय। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। Devotional listeners, now I will begin my talks on the Bhagavad Gita. What is Bhagavad Gita? We know it's a scripture, but let's look deeply into it. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopala nandanaha. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopala nandanaha. Partho vatsah sudhir bhokta dugdham Gitamritam mahat. Bhagavad Gita, or simply known as the Gita, is the essence of all the Upanishads. What are the Upanishads? These are part of the Vedas. In the Upanishads, you can find the most formidable knowledge, the deepest knowledge of Brahma, Jeev, and Maya. The supreme soul, the individual soul, and the deluding potency called Maya. The essence of all the Upanishads is contained in the Bhagavad Gita. So the verse that I recited says, think of the Upanishads as a cow. And think of Shri Krishna as a divine cowherd who has milked this cow. And the milk has been drunk by the calf. Who is that? What is the calf? It is none other than Arjun. Meaning, Shri Krishna has taken the knowledge of the Upanishads, he has extracted the essence, and he has given that knowledge to Arjun. And that knowledge comes to us in the nectar-filled Gita. So the knowledge of the Gita is completely in sync with the knowledge of the Upanishads. Now, many people, or at least some people, who are familiar with Sanskrit, thought to be the most ancient language, the mother of all languages. So they who are familiar with Sanskrit, they take an issue with the name Gita. They say that Gita is not a Sanskrit word. It should be Gitam or Geet, not Gita, and they are right. Geet or Gitam, but not Gita. How did this scripture get the name Gita? Well, the correct name of Gita is Gitopanishad or Bhagavad Gitopanishad. Gita plus Upanishad, Gitopanishad. Just like some main Upanishads are Kathopanishad, Kat plus Upanishad, Kathopanishad. Kenopanishad, Ken plus Upanishad, Kenopanishad. Shvetashvataropanishad, Taittiriyopanishad, Mundakopanishad, Mandukyopanishad, Brihadaranyikopanishad, and such. So Gita is in fact Gitopanishad. Now the word Geet in Sanskrit is neutral. It's neither masculine or feminine gender. It is neutral. But the word Upanishad is in the feminine gender in Sanskrit. The Hindi walas will say, no, Upanishad is in the masculine gender. Speakers of Hindi, we say, no, Upanishad is in masculine gender. That's right. But in Sanskrit, Upanishad is in the feminine gender. So when you have Geet plus Upanishad, Geet being neutral, Upanishad being feminine, so then Geet becomes Gita by association. Geet plus Upanishad, neutral plus feminine, so Geet becomes Gita. Now there are only two main characters, The main characters of the Gita are Bhagwan Shri Krishna and Arjun. Who is Bhagwan Shri Krishna and who is Arjun? Lord Krishna says in the Gita itself, O Arjun, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya Mai sarvamidam protam Bhagavatam Sutre Manigana Iva. Chapter 7, verse 7. Shri Krishna says, "O Arjun, there is no one greater than myself. The entire creation is strung on me, just like clusters of gems are strung on a thread." So you have gems, precious gems, clusters of them, and you put them on a string, they become a necklace. In the same way, innumerable universes, the entire creation is strung on me, just like that, Shri Krishna says, like clusters of gems on a string or on a thread. So Shri Krishna says that he is the greatest of all. God is the greatest of all. Also, Shri Krishna says in chapter 10, verse number 20, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitah Ahamadishcha Madhyancha Bhutanamanta Evacha. O Arjun, I am established in the heart of every individual soul. I am the Adi, Madhya, and the Ant. I am the origin, the existence, and finality of all living creatures, without exception. Shri Krishna is God. The Vedas ask, Kaha Paramo Devaha? Who is the Supreme Lord, the Lord of Lords? Because there are countless lords. Every universe has one Brahma, Lord, one Vishnu, Lord, one Shankar, 3 lords in each and every universe. And there are uncountable universes. Sankhya chet rajasa masti na vishwanam kadachana Brahma Vishnu Shivadi nam tatha sankhya na vidyate. Devi Bhagavad Puran says, it may become possible, which is absolutely impossible, but it may become possible to count the grains of sand that exist in the world. That's impossible, isn't it? But that impossible may become impossible, yet it is utterly and absolutely impossible to count the universes that make up this formidable creation. We cannot count them. It's impossible. And each and every universe has one Brahma, one Vishnu, one Shankar. So 3 lords, and there are uncountable lords, but Shri Krishna is the Lord of Lords. He is the Supreme Lord. Kaha Paramo Devaha? Who is the Supreme Lord? Krishna Havai Hari Paramam Daivatam Govindan Mrityur Vibheti. The Vedas answer their own question by saying, Shri Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the Lord of all lords. Generally, it is thought that Mahavishnu is the Supreme, and all the forms of God are his avatar. He is the Lord, Mahavishnu, the 4-armed Mahavishnu. Chaturbhuji Mahavishnu. However, the Bhagavatam says that Yasyaika nishvasita kalamathavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanathah Vishnur mahansa iha yasya kala vishesho Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I bow down to Govinda, I bow down to Krishna, whose partial manifestation is Mahavishnu. Partial manifestation, Kala Vishesho. Vishnur Mahansa Iha Yasya Kala Vishesho Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I bow down to Shri Krishna, whose partial manifestation is Mahavishnu. So Shri Krishna is the Supreme Lord. What about Arjun? Virana Maham Arjunaha. Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, amongst all valiant ones, I am Arjun. Arjun is the most valiant of all. But not just that. Arjun and Shri Krishna are Nar Narayan, form of God. Nar, Arjun, Narayan, Shri Krishna. So actually, Arjun is no less than, no, he's no less than Shri Krishna. Nar Narayan. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjun is acting the part of someone who is very confused. But before we get into that, there's a question, and that is, who wrote the Gita? Many people say, well, that's an easy one. Shri Krishna wrote the Gita. No. Shri Krishna was driving Arjun's chariot during the battle of Mahabharata, which, by the way, lasted for 18 days. The fierce battle of Mahabharata was fought for 18 days on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So when did he have the time to write the Gita? He was being the chariot driver. But maybe he wrote it later. No, actually, Bhagwan Vedavyas composed the Bhagavad Gita, and he composed it 50 years after the Mahabharata was fought. 50 years had passed. Then he thought, let me write it all down. Whatever happened will now be recorded. So he composed it, Vedavyasji composed it 50 years after the battle was fought. Now, Bhagwan Vedavyas, he is a very prolific author. He has composed the 18 Purans, such as Padma Puran, Agni Puran, Vishnu Puran, Shiv Puran, Markandeya Puran. There are 18 in all, and the most famous one is the Bhagavad Mahapuran, or simply Bhagavatam, or Bhagavad Puran. That is the most well-known, and it is the greatest. It is the greatest of Vedavyasji's compositions. It is the greatest of the 18 Purans. It is hailed to be the greatest of all scriptures. All scriptures, the Bhagavatam. Bhagwan Vedavyas has composed the Mahabharata scripture, which is comprised of 100,000 shlokas or verses. And 700 of those verses belong to the Bhagavad Gita. So the Bhagavad Gita in itself is a very short scripture. Only 700 verses divided into 18 chapters. And it is a part of a much larger scripture, Mahabharata. Bhagwan Vedavyas has also composed the Brahma Sutras, otherwise known as Vedanta. So he's a very prolific author. He is the author of the Mahabharata, and within the Mahabharata we have the Bhagavad Gita. Now, Arjun, as I just mentioned, and as you know already, Arjun does not need any instruction. He is divine, but for our purposes, Arjun is enacting the role of every man, a common man. A common man has confusions, dilemmas, questions. What should I do? Should I take this route in life? Should I take this path? I don't know, I'm confused. That's every man, isn't it? So Arjun, right in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, we see that Arjun is confused. His chariot is being driven by Bhagwan Shri Krishna, and Arjun has said to the Supreme Lord, please take my chariot to the center, middle of the battlefield. He wanted to see who he is fighting against, so he could take a good look. And Shri Krishna has placed the chariot in the center of in the middle of the battlefield, and the Kunj, the Shankh, has sounded. Now it's just interesting that the Pandav brothers, 5 of them, as you know, Yudhishthir, Arjun, Bhim, Nakul and Sahadev, the 5 brothers, when it became clear that the Kauravas, their cousins, the 100 Kauravas, Duryodhan, Dushasan and others, they would not listen to logic. Shri Krishna had been sent by the Pandavas as a messenger of peace. But the Duryodhan did not listen to he did not want any peace, he wanted war. So it was obvious that this war was going to happen. So the Pandavas had now challenged the Kauravas to this battle, but it is the Kauravas who sounded the conch. They sounded the shank. Why? Because they were mightier. They had 11 units of battle formations, which is called Akshavani. And the Pandavas had only 7. So the Kauravas had a higher hand. They were stronger. They had the upper hand. So they're the ones who sounded the shank. All that has happened, and suddenly Arjun says, "Oh, Gandivam sransate hastat vakchaiva paridahyate na cha shaknomya vasthatum bhramati vacha me manah." Oh Krishna, oh Keshav, my bow Gandiv is slipping from my hands. You see, the weapons of these divine ones are also divine. Not only is Arjun divine, but his bow is also divine. It is a conscious entity. It is a living entity. And his bow's name is Gandiv. Shri Krishna has countless names. One of them is Sarangapani. Sarangapani. So Pani, not Pani, water in Hindi, but Pani, Sanskrit, meaning hand. The one who has sarang in his hands, one who carries the sarang bow, is known as Sarangapani. Arjun is known as Gandivdhari, the one who has the Gandiv bow in his hands. Arjun is saying to Shri Krishna, Maharaj, my bow, Gandiv, is slipping from my hands. I'm not able to even hold on to my bow. How will I fight? My mind is reeling with confusion, and it's as if my body is on fire. I cannot fight this battle. Eva muktva Arjuna sankhye rathopastha upavishat visrijya sasharam chapam shoka samvigna manasah. After Arjun spoke these words, he went to the back of the chariot. A warrior doesn't sit in the back of the chariot. He's not riding as a passenger. But he went to the back of the chariot, indicating that he was not going to fight the battle. He is confused. He is saying, why should I fight this battle? Because he saw his teachers, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Bhishma Pitamaha, the grandsire Bhishma, in whose lap Arjun had played as a child. They're all facing him on the Kaurav side, and he thought, I don't want to kill them. Those are my cousins, my teachers, my own kith and kin. What will I get from killing them? I don't want the wealth that will become mine if I emerge victorious. I don't want to be a king if all these people who are my own, if they're killed in the battle. Why am I fighting this battle? So he said to Shri Krishna, I don't have any intention of fighting this battle. My conscience doesn't allow me to fight this battle. And he went on, he thought about it a lot. He went into detail. He said, those soldiers who will lose their lives, their wives will become widows, and they may become characterless, and they may have children out of wedlock, and those children will be illegitimate. And if all these illegitimate children are in society, what will become of society? The society will go to ruins. No, I cannot have this on my conscience. And Shri Krishna says, what are you saying? What are you saying? You are the one who came to me for help. You and Duryodhan had come to me for help in this battle. And Duryodhan was there first, so he got to choose first. He said, I will take the army units that you are offering, O Shri Krishna. Arjun said, I don't want your army, I just want you. Because wherever you are, that is where victory is. Where Krishna is, there is victory. So Arjun had so much faith in Shri Krishna that he said, I choose you without any weapon. And Shri Krishna had said, I will not lift a single weapon. I'm very clear about this. Do you understand? Arjun said, yes, my lord. I only want you. I don't want any weapons. Shri Krishna is saying, you had come to me for help. And now that we are in the middle of the battlefield, you're saying that you don't want to fight? You could have thought about this earlier, you know. Arjun said, I cannot fight. But at the same time, Arjun said, Karpanya dosho pahta swabhava prichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetah yachreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. O Shri Krishna, I am confused as to what I should do. So I ask you as my Guru, I am your fully surrendered disciple. Please, I beg you, tell me what I should do. What is the right thing for me to do? What is the right course that I should be on? You tell me. And that was indeed the best thing for Arjun to do. In other words, that is the best thing for anyone to do. In a state of confusion, we need to get clarity, and that clarity comes from the Guru. I had said to you in the beginning that the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Upanishads, the Vedas. So the Upanishads say, Uttishtat Jagrat Prapya Varan Nibodhat. They say, O humans, wake up, awaken, arise, and go to a Guru to seek knowledge. Seek the knowledge of God through the Guru. Then we ask, who is a Guru? The Mundaka Upanishad says, earlier was Kathopanishad, the Mundaka Upanishad says, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayan nastya krita kritena tad vijnanartham sagurumeva bhigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtham. This verse says that the Guru is one who fulfills two conditions. He must fulfill two conditions. Number one, he must be shrotriyam. He must have a thorough theoretical knowledge of all the scriptures without exception. All the scriptures. He must know them inside out. He must not just have memorized some scriptures, he must know them. But how is it possible to know them? All of them. And for that, the second condition comes, and it says, Brahmanishtham. The second condition is that the Guru must be God realized. He must have attained God realization. Now everything about him is divine, for he has attained God. The Ramayana says, Janat tumahi hoi jai. The one who gets to know you, one who attains you, my Lord, he becomes just like you. The one who surrenders to God receives all the divine gifts from God. So God gives to that surrendered one, whom we call the Guru or Sant, Mahatma, Mahapurush, God realized soul, he now receives all the gifts from God. Everything. Yad durlabham, yadaprapyam, manaso yanna gocharam, tadapya prarthito dhyato, dadati madhusudanaha. Garud Puran says, then God gives to, Shri Krishna gives to that surrendered soul everything that is difficult to attain, everything that is impossible to attain, everything that the mind can't even think of. God gives him all those gifts. So he becomes just like God, having all the powers of God. So a Guru is God realized. He is a divine being. he has complete knowledge of all scriptures. So the Vedas, the Upanishads, they say that anyone who wants a knowledge of God must surrender to a guru. And therefore the Bhagavad Gita says the same. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. O Arjun, Shri Krishna says, O Arjun, the one who wishes to know God must do three things. He must surrender fully to a guru, a divine teacher. He must ask questions to get the answers so that there is no more confusion left in the mind. And he must serve the guru. Tad vidhi pranipatena, pariprashnena, and sevaya. Three things. He must surrender fully. He must ask questions, genuine questions, humble questions to get clarity so that there is no more confusion in the mind. And thirdly, he must serve the guru with tan, man, dhan, body, mind, and wealth in every possible way. So Arjun is saying, Shadi mam tuam prapannam. I am your surrendered disciple. There is pan, there is prapanna. Panna disciple means one who bows his head at the lotus feet of the guru, but his mind is not surrendered. He doesn't accept the teachings of the guru. He does not heed the instructions of the guru. He does what his mind tells him to do, but he says, this is my Guruji. I bow down to him. But he's not surrendered at all. Jagat Guru Shri Kripalu Maharaj says in his most excellent scripture, Radha Govind Geet, comprised of 11,111 dohas or two-lined verses, couplets. Shri Guru Charano mein, Shri Guru Charano mein, Govind Radhe, sir ko hi nahi, man ko bhi jhuka de. Sir ko hi nahi, man ko bhi jhuka de. Surrender not only, don't just bow your head before the Guru, surrender your mind to him. Do as he says. Don't listen to your mischievous mind. Arjun says, I'm not one of those who just says, I'm surrendered to you, who just surrenders to you physically. He bows down and he lays himself down on the ground completely, does dandavat pranam to you, but his mind is not anywhere near you. I'm not one of those people who will speak fancy words. Shri Krishna sharanam mama, Shri Krishna arpanamastu. Shri Krishna is my only refuge. I surrender to Shri Krishna. I'm not one of those who performs fancy ceremonies, taking some water in the right hand, reciting some fancy mantras from the Vedas, raising the left arm while reciting the mantra, throwing the water like this. I'm not one of those people. I am completely surrendered to you. So please tell me what to do. I'm confused. And clarity is absolutely essential. If there are doubts in the mind, then the same Gita says, Agyascha shraddadhanascha sanshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham na parangatim. Shri Krishna says, O Arjun, the one who has doubts in his mind, he will suffer a spiritual downfall. And he will not find any happiness, neither here nor in the world he goes to after death. Not here on earth while he's living, and no happiness even after death. So it is essential that an aspiring devotee, a sadhak, it's essential for a sadhak to ask the Guru questions. Questions born of an inquisitive and humble mind, not born of an arrogant and proud mind. There are some people who ask questions like this. Whoever comes to their neighborhood mandir, Swamiji is there, someone is there, and he will say, I have a question. Yes, what is your question? And he will get the answer. But he's not listening to the answer. because he has asked the same question 50 times already, and he has been telling his friends, I asked the question, मैंने प्रश्न पूछा, लेकिन मुझे अच्छा जवाब मिला नहीं. He just says like that. I didn't get the answer to my question. Because he's not willing to accept any answer. Because there's an arrogance about him. There is a pride in him. He says, no, this is not the answer. The answer should be according to his liking. He's not looking for any answer. He just wants to show people, I have a question that nobody can answer. And while asking the question, he will look around. So please tell me, are you all listening to my question? He will ask a question like this, not this kind of question. Humble questions. Guruji, I don't understand this because I have a limited intellect. You please explain this to me. Would you kindly explain this concept? The Guru will explain it and the sadhak will accept it. So Arjun is asking this kind of a question. What should I do? So the lesson that we learn from this part of the Gita from the beginning is that we need a Guru. Guru is not only important in life, Guru is essential in life. Without a Guru, we don't know who we are. We think of the self to be this body. And it is shocking to someone who is a great devotee. It is shocking, especially to someone who is God realized, to see that we think the self to be the body. This is the body, that's not who you are, they say. This is yours. This is your body, it's not who you are. The money in your wallet, the money in your bank account, is that you? No, it's yours, right? It's your money. You don't say that's me. You say that's my money. The house you live in, you don't say that's me. You say that's my house. The house is not who I am. Money is not what I am. My clothing is not what I am. My car is not who I am. These are mine. Similarly, the body is not who I am. The body is mine. In every lifetime, we have had a different body. Sometimes a body of a male, sometimes a body of a female. Sometimes a body of an insect or a bird, an animal, a plant, a tree, and rarely do we get the human body. So we cannot be that which is always changing with every life. We are that which is always the same. So we don't even know without the guidance of a guru who we are. What then about higher knowledge than that? We don't know even the basics. So we need a guru. But Shri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, look Arjun, there are four types of people who will never surrender to me. They will never accept a guru to be a guru. They will never surrender to me. Let's find out who these four types of people are. Shri Krishna says, first of all, first type of individual is the one who never listens to anything about God. Never. He says, I have no time. I don't have time to waste. So he never listens. He has no knowledge pertaining to the soul, pertaining to God, the Supreme Soul. Why would he surrender to God? He will feel no need. He won't even believe in God. Chances are that he doesn't even believe in God. So he's the kind of person who thinks that life is just the purpose of life is to get an education, then get a job, earn money, or run a business and earn money, get married, have a family, use some of that money for save some of the money, go on a vacation from time to time with the family using that money, and spend that money on the mortgage and all that, and then just die one day. To him, that is a purpose of life. Just eating, drinking, and getting an education, getting married, having kids, going on a vacation once in a while, saving money, and that's it. Ram Naam Satya Hai. Death will come, and that's it. That's the end of him. And then he goes on, of course. He has not died. The soul has not died. The body has died, but he has wasted his life. The second type of person is the one who has heard scriptural teachings. He has heard discourses, lectures on the Bhagavad Gita and other such topics. He has listened. He has understood to some extent, maybe to a large extent. But he is simply lazy and careless. Shri Krishna is saying this. I'm not saying this. Shri Krishna says this is a naradham. He's very careless. He's like a person who has been starving for days, and then some kind person says, oh, here's some food. And this fellow says, oh, I have to eat it? It's so much effort. What do you mean? You're starving. But I have to extend my hand all the way to the plate of food, and I have to pick up the rice and dal with a spoon. Then I have to bring that spoon all the way to my mouth. Then I have to put the spoonful of food into my mouth. Then I have to chew that food. It's too much. Too much effort. I don't want to eat. And that's shocking. Shocking. You're starving. And somebody's giving you food and you say you can't be bothered. Second type of person, says Shri Krishna, is exactly of this type. He's too lazy and too careless. The third type of person that Shri Krishna identifies is someone who has lots of doubts. So he will have doubts in the world to a certain extent. He will have to have faith in many places. Like when he goes shopping, he's full of doubts, but when he goes shopping, he has to give his money and then he gets the goods. He doesn't have any doubts. He will have to go to the bank and he has to give the money, then he gets the deposit slip. He can't have doubts all the time, but he has doubts, lots of doubts in the world, and those doubts go all the way up to God. He has doubts in God. So this most unfortunate fellow goes around saying, I don't believe that Krishna was God. I think he was a trickster. He was a magician, the best magician of all. But he was not God, I don't believe that. He has doubts even about God, about even God. And he will say, why did Krishna dance the Maharaj with gopis who are married women? He will say, why did Ram hide behind the tree and then release the arrow? Why did he kill Bali like that? Why did he do that? Why was he so deceptive? Why this? Why that? He has so many doubts. And Shri Krishna says, why would this fellow surrender to me? How can he surrender to me? He has too many doubts. He does not have the gift of faith. And the Vedas say, Shraddhatsva Tata, Shraddhatsva. Have faith. Have faith. But the person who doesn't have faith will never surrender. And finally, the fourth type of person is actually a demon disguised as a human. Not only does he not go towards God, he tries to dissuade others from going towards God also. No, there's no such thing as God. No, you're not going to satsang. No. He will try to stop his family members from going towards God. He will try to stop his friends. He will talk to whoever lends him an ear. No, there is no such thing as God. Don't be fooled, this, that. He thinks every holy person is a charlatan and he has doubts in even God. Shri Krishna says these four types of people will not surrender to me. So, do we fit into one of those categories? Are we one of those four types of people? Because we have not surrendered either, right? So, do we belong to the first, second, third, or fourth category? Well, we can rule out the first category because we do listen to lectures. The fact that we are here You are here listening, I'm here speaking to you with the grace of my Gurudev. This fact, it shows us that we don't belong to the first category, people who never listen to anything about God. We don't belong to the third category either, because we don't have that many those doubts. When we do have doubts, we try to clear them, but our doubts, we do listen to the answers given by the divine ones. We are certainly not, we don't belong to the fourth category. We are not trying to stop others from going to God. In fact, on the contrary, we are trying to go towards God ourselves. We are trying to gain the knowledge of God. We're trying to receive godly knowledge. We're trying to build on it. So this leaves the second category. We belong to the second category. That means that we have been given knowledge. We do know, we have been given the knowledge of the self. I am the Atma. We all would say, I know this. You would all say, I know this. Of course, I know this. I'm not the body, I'm the soul. I belong to Sanatan Vedic Dharma. I know this much. I know so much. All right, I know I'm the soul. I know that the world doesn't belong to me. The world has been provided to me by God so that I can keep my body alive. I know that. I know that I must surrender to God. Then the question that comes to us is, why aren't you doing it? Because we are too lazy and careless. We are thinking that we will do it some other time. We will live forever and ever. We'll do it some other time. Or we have a long, long life to live yet. So we'll do it some other time. But Arjun says, I am surrendered to you, O Shri Krishna. Please tell me what to do. Now, it's also very noteworthy that Arjun said to Shri Krishna, I am your fully surrendered disciple. He didn't say I'm your devotee. You are God and I'm your devotee. आप भगवान हैं, मैं आपका भक्त हूँ. नहीं, मैं आपका शिष्य हूँ और आप मेरे गुरुदेव हैं. You are my guru, I am your fully surrendered disciple. And you'll say, well, what about that? Well, had Arjun said to Shri Krishna, you are God, please tell me what to do, Shri Krishna would have said, Arjun, you have recognized me. I am God, yes, but don't you know that it is my eternal law that I do not give knowledge directly to the seeker. I have given that duty. I have given that duty to the Guru. I have given that to my pure devotee. I have sent him to earth to give you that knowledge. So I will not give you direct knowledge. Tell you what, I will give you the name and address of a Guru, and you go there, find out the answers to your questions, and come back over here. Arjun said, I don't have that kind of time. I'm here, we are in the middle of the battlefield. So he very wisely, he said, you're my Guru, I'm your Chela, I'm your disciple. Please tell me what to do. And so Shri Krishna had to give him the answer. He had to tell him, this is what you should do. And the whole Gita is all about that. What should Arjun do? What should every man do in life? But if someone in the world says, if a person says, well, I will accept Shri Krishna to be my Guru. A lady had once said to me, she said, Didi ji, I don't want any Guru in this world. I want Shri Krishna as my Guru. And I want him, when it's time for me to go, I want him to just pick me up and take me to his divine kingdom, Golok. I don't want a Guru. My response was, you have so much faith in Shri Krishna. I have full faith in him. You have so much love for him. I have so much love for him. My heart is bursting with love for Shri Krishna. That's great. But you say, don't mind me saying this, but you claim to have so much faith in Shri Krishna, yet you have no faith in his words. She said, but I do. But look what he's saying in the Gita. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Shri Krishna is saying, you must surrender to a Guru. You must ask him questions. You must serve him. So if you have no faith in his words, how can you say you have faith in him? Shri Krishna himself is saying, go to the Guru and ask him questions. There was no answer to that. What could she say? But if we say, well, I want Krishna as my guru, then because Arjun accepted him as a guru. But we would have to be as great as Arjun to have Shri Krishna as a guru. And also, we would have to recognize Shri Krishna when he comes to earth. We have seen him not once or twice, but uncountable times. We have been born human uncountable times, and Shri Krishna has come down to earth uncountable times. Yada yada hi dharmasya, yada yada hi dharmasya, glanir bhavati bharat, abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Bhagavad Gita. Shri Krishna says, I come down to earth from time to time. Whenever there's a decline in dharma, I come to protect the virtuous ones and my devoted ones, my devoted devotees, and to annihilate the evil ones, to slay the demons and to protect the devotees. I come down to earth. He has come here uncountable times. We have been here, we've seen him, but we dismissed him as a common man. We may even have dismissed him as someone who is an evil man. So, to accept Shri Krishna himself as a guru, it has to be that Shri Krishna himself comes down to earth, and we are as great as Arjun, that we can recognize him and we can have faith in him. Then, if we say to him, Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam, Shri Krishna will become the guru and he will give us knowledge. But we are not at the level of Arjun, not by any means. So, we would have to have a Shrotriyam Brahmanishta Guru, and we must accept him as a divine master and learn from him. So whatever I am telling you comes from the divine mind of Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, the fifth original authentic Jagat Guru in the history of Kali Yuga, and he was accepted by 500 greatest scholars of scriptures, all together forming an organization called Kashi Vidvat Parishad. He was accepted by all 500 of them, who were more than twice his age. He was only 34 when he was selected by all of them as not just the fifth Jagat Guru, but as Jagat Guru Tam, the greatest of the Jagat Gurus who have graced this earth so far. Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Madhavacharya. I'm forgetting one. But 4 Jagat Gurus who have come. Fifth one is Jagat Guru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj. Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, of course. So, of the 4 Jagat Gurus who have come, out of them, and then the fifth one, Jagat Guru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, the scholar said, you are Jagat Guru Tam, you are best of all who have descended to earth so far. Each one of them was an avatar, God who had come down to earth. Jagat Guru cannot be anyone but God himself who descends to earth. So what I've shared with you is the philosophy of the scriptures as explained by Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj. I look forward to continuing with the topic of the Gita tomorrow and until next Friday. I thank you very much for lending me an ear. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Srimad Sadguru Sarkar ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.